Today's forum is part of the series of forums we started last year. Um, Last year, we focused on AI's usage in biopharmaceutical industry. We did 7 forums. This year, we are basically open to all topics people are interested in. We've done 3 so far. We talk about the AI in finance and AI. The second one we did was AI, the open cloud. That was a sensation, right? Teach 2 hour, teach people how to use it. And so we did 3 this today. This is the 4th one. And we have 3 distinguished speakers come to talk about AI, its impact on education, in particularly in college admission, college education, and how it's impact future career. What skill do we need to succeed in career? Without further ado, I will introduce our first speaker, Zhongli. She's sick with fever. So we are very thankful she can still join us. We couldn't hear you are on mute.
Yeah, sorry about that.
Can you share your screen?
Yes. So when I share my screen, your screen will disappear. Thank you so much, Victor, for the introduction.
No, let me quickly
Yes.
introduce Zhongli, right? She has a long list of accomplishment, but to me, the first time I know her is about 10 years ago. Uh, my son was in elementary school, Navy elementary school, and then the new assistant principal came, young Chinese lady. I said, wow, that's something. But then a few years later, she disappeared, and we recently get reconnected. I learned that she has accomplished a whole bunch of things. Um, she built a strong partnership with over 100 schools across both the United States and China, becoming trusted bridge between global education system. She's especially recognized for successfully introducing and expanding international innovation and entrepreneurship program in China, including Rise Global Challenge, where she helped cultivate a strong culture of student-driven creativity, collaboration, and problem solving on the global stage. For families aiming at nation's top selective universities, Zhongli delivers a perspective few can offer with her extensive network in the admission office, combining her experience within U.S. schools with over 10 years in college counseling. She helps students build intellectual depth, leadership, and unique yet authentic personal stories that capture the attention of the mission committees at Stanford, Harvard, Yale, Princeton, and beyond. Go ahead, Zhongli. Thank you very much for joining us.
Thank you so much, Victor, for the introduction. This is too well to be said. I think I'm definitely much less than this. I'm here today just to share, as a parent of a couple of kids, I'd like to share about a topic that we all worry about and concern about and have question about AI today. How do we embrace AI in the future of our education? So without further ado, I'm going to try to share my screen on the slides that I make. Can everybody see my screen? Yeah.
Yes.
So if everybody can, I'll move on with my slides. So, um, you know, one thing that I've been always thinking about when we are facing AI, and there are so many incidents about AI policy in public school, AI policy at university level, Everybody is talking about AI, using AI. So if a student can Google it, we should not be testing it. That's something that we've been thinking about for a while. Of course, nowadays, standardized testing is still a thing. It's getting more important. But what are we teaching in the age of AI? Because AI made learning to learn very different. I had some students share with me in the past, they say when they are confused with what the teacher is talking about, they will actually use ChatGPT or Gemini as their learning assistant. Now, before the age of AI, we used to be, students learn to find and organize, present information. Knowledge retrieval was the core skill before the age of AI. With AI, students can summarize, learn things much faster. And now, today, what we're talking about, really, the question is no longer, what do you know? It becomes who are you, what you do, or what you know, what do you see that others don't? It comes more to a human essential question of who you are as a person in our perspective. So, with that being said, you know, the danger is not that AI will take students' jobs. The danger is that it will take their struggles. Because when we had a hard math question or hard physics question we used to have, the background was like we would take those intellectual grills and try to figure those out. But with AI, it's so easy. Within a click, the answer will show up. So, with that being said, I think real learning happens when there are struggles, right? As we can see, struggle is where learning happens. Easy output is not the same as deep as understanding. When our students they're searching questions and searching answers on ChatGPT, their struggle no longer exists there. Sometimes we even have to stop our kids and say, "Hey, can we think a moment before we turn to AI just to search for the answer?" Because what we firmly believe, character building is through difficulty. And if we remembered, Harvard was being sued, actually rating Asian characters to be low, right? But I never think, Mauricio, you're here. You can comment on that later. I don't think any type of group should be rating low on our character, right? I think every ethnic group has its own character as well. So, but most importantly to me, any group, any race, I do believe character is built through difficulty, the piece of resilience, judgment, perspective, and humility. These are not taught, they are earned through failing, revising, keep trying. So, those things are so very, very important to us today. One of my favorite author, Dr. Wagner, about 18 years ago, talked about the seven survival skills. When I was invited by Yingxia to share today, talking about AI and education, one thing it reminded me again and again was Dr. Wagner's seven survival skills. Because it's no longer the way that we acquire knowledge, but how do we actually build up our kids' skills in a way. So the seven survival skills, which I deeply resonate, even more so today, would be critical thinking and problem solving, collaboration, agility, initiative and entrepreneurship, very effective communication, accessing and analyzing information, curiosity and imagination. These skills are harder to be replaced just by AI. And I do. I don't know how many parents are here and how old are your kids, but no matter what age they are and how old they are, these seven skills will be even more important in the age of AI when we are facing, the change of the society. So, with that being said, as I've been working in college counseling, I always talk to my kids and the other kids what the top universities actually want, right? I remember hearing many sessions at NACAC and other officers in the admission office, they always share with me they want a real human, right? A real human means someone who can perform and who can connect, and someone who has a unique and distinguished ability to survive in the world. So, some of the questions we asked here, as you can see, but more importantly, what makes us human, right? It's our empathy, our human connection, our originality and creative voices, and more moral reasoning and values. Every single one of them are so important to make us who we are as a person, and it's so distinctive, and it's irreplaceable by AI. And, you know, Yingsha and I had a conversation before, I remember, that was kept with me for a while. She was talking to me her passion of building an AI, evergreen AI. And we talked about one thing deeply. I said, what's important under the college of, throughout the process of a college application? And I said to her, I said, it's really the ability that we see problems in our community and the way that we can come up with real human-centered solutions. And we need to teach our kids to have that almost detective eyes in our community to sense about the needs from our community and to find the right problem and figure out a way how do we communicate that problem to the people around us. And last but not least, do it with integrity. And AI definitely empowered us to do it faster, easier, more collaborative in a way. So, with that being said, you know, with the age of AI, and I really think it adds to those purposes down the conversation, right? With that being said, I really think teachers, educators, we are the one who are helping the parents to nurture meaning throughout the process. From we just become like delivering the content, we want to design an experience for our kids. From rewarding the right answers, we want to change ourselves to honor their honest thinking. And from preparing only for tests, I really think as parents, as educators, we need to prepare them for life. So the college entrance is only a start. It's never an end. And it's really it to me and to many others, it doesn't matter where kids go to college. It matters if they understand what their pursuit is for the rest of their life. So, you know, I definitely have a lot more to share down the road if you have any other questions, but I hope that as we're nurturing our own kids, building up our community, I hope that we're really thinking about we're building our kids that they think like humans, they connect humans, and then they contribute to our community in the end. So that's pretty much my slides. Um, I welcome questions later on too. Thank you so much.
Well, Zhongli, thank you so much. It's full of uh, wisdom and very, very information packing. One thing struck me was losing difficulty learning by using AI. That itself is a big loss, right? We need children to struggle. And the struggle is a learning. And that stuck with me. Thank you. All right. Now we go to our next speaker, Dr. Yingxia Yang. Uh, Dr. Yingxia Yang is the founder and CEO of Evergreen AI, a nonprofit organization dedicated to empowering and transforming people of all ages to thrive in the age of artificial intelligence. She also works at Google, where she leads energy infrastructure commercial development for data centers across the Midwest region of the United States, supporting the rapid growth of artificial intelligence. In addition to her professional work, Dr. Yang has been actively involved in entrepreneurship and the investor community through organizations such as MIT Alumni Angels and the Greater Washington Entrepreneur Club. Dr. Yang earned her PhD from MIT and a Master in Public Administration from Harvard University. Without further ado, I give you Dr. Yang.
Thank you, Victor, for the great honor to speak about this very important topic. And also, Zhongli, thank you for the great speech. A lot of what you have said very much resonate with me. And you will see that in my presentation, there will be a lot of things in common. So, so let me just share my screen. I think you can see my screen, right?
Yes.
Okay, great. All right, so I'm going to be focusing on still AI topic, but on a kind of a later stage than a college application, which is more about after you enter into college, what do you study there so that you can stay competitive in the age of AI, and even after you graduate, right? Like how can you stay competitive in your career? And these are the questions that I think in everybody's mind. And I'm not saying like I'm the expert to speak on this topic, and I'm here really just to share my own personal perspectives as a also some professional, as a parent for two kids. And so I'm very much looking forward to the discussion with you all. So before we talk about AI, the age that we are living now, I would like to actually step back into the history more than 300 years ago when the steam turbine was just invented. And I would like just to quickly read this little paragraph. They came under cover of this darkness when they wouldn't be recognized. Dozens of weavers, masked, disguised, armed, angry. They crept wordlessly toward the expensive and controversial new technologies, machines they believed were the enemy. This is basically back in the Industrial Revolution, right, around 1700 years. And the weavers were fiercely protesting against the powered loom, which basically using the new steam turbine technology, because their job was lost, their wage was cut, and they think that that's the problem. However, we all know their protests did not work. Steam turbine prevailed, and then by 1850s, there was barely nothing left with the manual loom, and then the world was filled with 250,000 of powered loom. Now, fast forward to today, 2026, we have artificial intelligence. Similarly, I will just read this quick paragraph. It was a beautiful day in Florida. The air buzzes with the excitement of graduation, celebrating 4 years of hard work. During the 2026 ceremony for the College of Arts and Humanities, guest speakers Gloria Caulfield stated that the rise of artificial intelligence is the next industrial revolution. The graduates immediately erupted into a chorus of boos, forcing the speaker to pause, throw up her hands, and nervously ask, "May I finish?" Sounds like very familiar with the protest with the steam turbine weavers. So this is yet another pushback to a new technology. The students has a reason to boo. Only this year, we've seen large hyperscalers, including Amazon, Microsoft, my own company, Alphabet, Meta, dedicated $700 billion capital expenditure strictly to AI infrastructure, GPUs, and data centers. At the same time, profitable companies are cutting headcount by over 16,000 per month, pay cut deduction to free up the budget for compute power. Basically, we are witnessing the largest transfer of corporate capital from human labor to machine infrastructure in modern history. And this is hitting really hard for fresh graduates. We're seeing basically an evaporation of entry level because AI currently is absorbing the routine and boilerplate tasks that traditionally company used to train early career workers. And because of that, the unemployment rate for recent graduates are very high. Right now it's at 5.5% and almost double the unemployment rate for all graduates. So this really begs the question, is college studies still useful? Where's the tuition? Tons of money, right? And if students should still go to college, which fields of study will best prepare them for career success or even find a job, right, in the AI era? And how can they really build a competitive advantage and not only survive, but thrive in an AI-driven workforce? So to answer these questions, I think that this one report from World Economic Forum called The Future of Jobs can give us some useful insights when thinking about those questions. If you have not read about it, if you care about these questions, I highly recommend that you read the report. But here's a quick summary. It's basically a report. They do this on a biannual basis. And they have built the study based on a database with survey on over 1,000 employers, and basically represents very diversified industry clusters and many workers. And it provides a near term, like the next 5 years, basically prospect of future jobs, and it identifies the jobs and industries that will be both negatively and positively impacted by generative AI, along with other factors such as economic volatility and all the geopolitical changes, environmental challenges, etc. So that's what makes this report result, I think, it is especially insightful. So here is the main findings that I find very useful, and I would like to share that with you. So call it safe harbor. Basically, this is a category of jobs that will have high growth need in the next 5 years. And unsurprisingly, it is the AI technology development and deployment. I mean, basically, this is where all the tech companies is pouring their money. And even though we understand that a lot of the students who study the computer science now have a hard time of finding job, however, it does not mean that the tech sector is not going to have new hire opportunities. Instead, they are needing a different type of students or with a different background, which can help them to architects and also help them to know how to build and secure and govern the systems, the AI systems that will replace other workers. So this would include a lot of cybersecurity engineering, and that's projected to have a 32% growth through 2032. And this also includes the AI architecture people and even people who can help them to design the ethics of AI governance. So if your students are going to college, I think you want to really consider, do not just blindly say, okay, computer science is dead. We're not going to computer science. but make sure that he's going to the college with that major that really offers some AI, some study field that will equip him or her on these future AI needs. So that is one category. The second category, call it the healthcare and social assistance. And these fields generally requires professional licensing, physical assessment, or a genuine empathy. And so the reason that they will remain resilient from the AI threat is because they really require a lot of personal interaction and a lot of accountability so that you cannot just simply delegate that to AI, or it's really hard to automate it. And so this would include like nursing, for example, or mental therapists, or physicians, physician assistants, lawyers, like all of these professions that our Asian community actually are always very, I think are very important and want our kids to, and because they are highly specialized and they require a lot of personal interactions. These are hard to be replaced by the AI, at least based on the AI capability today. The third category, which used to not be what our Asian communities really favor of, but actually is becoming very AI proof or AI resilient, which is in the construction, logistics, and supply chain industries. And the key feature in these industries is that it requires a lot of complex physical diversity to deal with the problem. And it's also a lot of hands-on human presence that robots cannot just yet navigate very cost effectively. And so this includes like construction workers, for example, or construction management, or supply chain management, electricians, for example, and skilled trades. So all of these used to be called blue collars. Actually, they are very much AI resilient. I think it kind of makes sense once we talk about it, but sometimes it's hard for you to think, okay, what industry or what majors would be AI proof? At least for me, it was kind of interesting to see this is what the report says, and it makes sense. Okay, now on the opposite side, what majors will be especially vulnerable to AI, right? And so these generally are the boilerplate coding or generalist knowledge in digital fields that are becoming increasingly commoditized. And so, for example, computer science, right, simply doing coding, that's not going to be having much demand there. And in the media industry, content generation is increasingly automated. And so you're going to have a hard time of finding a media job in these days. And other than that, traditional accounting or simply just the preparing tax stuff is getting also automated by AI at a a lot more efficiency, as well as some general business administration that just does some kind of routine work, right? And those are also being replaced by AI platforms. So the question, I guess, the next question is, if you are already in those industries, what should you do? Does that mean that you're going simply just waiting to be laid off? And the answer is no. So the recipe strategy would be that you use the technology as a amplifier and really to build on your vulnerable major, but make it a future-proof career. And one example would be that, somebody studies humanities, right? And it would be hard to find a job. However, if you learn about AI, and that you could be hired by a AI company that helps them to design ethnics policy into their AI product. So that's one example. And basically, to use Jensen Huang's famous words, like AI won't replace you, but someone using AI will. So really the message is that you need to embrace AI no matter in which industry it is. And that will really help you to be surviving and thriving in this industry because AI will be revolutionizing almost every industries, and there will be opportunities if you know how to use that technology to really affecting your industry. Okay, so does this mean that if you are embracing AI, if you are in one of those called safe industries, then you will be happily living forever? And of course, the answer is no. So let's continue to move forward to, let's say, roughly 10 years later. And let's say this is when finally the artificial general intelligence arrived. There has been a lot of controversy about when that arrives, depending on who you ask. I think recently Google DeepMind CEO Demis Hassabis has said 2030 is the time. Well, I'm not in the position to say when it will come. So let's just take a little conservative view and say it'll come in 10 years. So generally, artificial general intelligence means that the AI will be capable of doing pretty much all the things, all the tasks that human being is able to do and can do it even better, right? So in this in this situation, I think we will be facing a question: can we human beings still stay competitive in the era of AGI? And if not, if that means that we cannot compete with AI for jobs, then do we still need a job? And what is the meaning of having a job in our life, right? So those are the questions that I think we will have to think about in that scenario. And there are generally I put it into two views. And by the way, like this is all just like my own perspective. I think no one has a answer to say, okay, when AGI is going to arrive, what's going to happen in the AGI. So, but I think this is also why I would like to offer my personal perspective and also invite you to offer yours so we can have an interesting discussion. But coming back, at least based on my understanding, there are two groups of people. One group has a very pessimistic view about what happens to human in the era of AGI. They have a very anxious outlook centered around widespread job displacement. And to an extreme, and some of them may think that humans will be under AI control or even destroyed by AI, right? So the godfather of AI, Jeff Hinton, basically is in this group. And there's another group that has more optimistic view that basically says, okay, so with AI is able to taking care of all the jobs, then we're going to transition toward a global sustainability. Humans will be detached from survival labor and pursue higher needs. And what this basically says is that we no longer need to work or to have a job for a living to meet our physical needs. We can actually go beyond that and pursue higher needs because we will get universal income, for example. And this is like a really great future. And Elon Musk is basically what he has been saying to the public. Well, again, I am not in the position, right? I'm not an AI expert to say which view is the correct view. However, I do think about coming back to our question, right? If this is where the future is going, like the AGI will arrive sooner or later, what does that tell me about what to have the kids to have the education and how do we prepare for our career, right? That is the question I would like to think about. And so to think about that, I would like to kind of take this, step in the position of the optimistic view for a second, because if we are in the pessimistic view, then there's nothing that we can do. Like a human, either you're forced to get out of any job or that the society doesn't exist. So there's nothing that we need to make a choice about. So that's why I've been kind of generally wanted to take a position on the optimistic view. And under that, I like to think, okay, so now humans are not going to be competitive, right, with AI. So what does that mean? Do we just lose the meaning of job? Do we just lose the meaning of life? Every time I think about this question, it forces me to really think about what it means to be a human and why do we have a job? And then I always think about this Maslow's hierarchy of need. Today, we need a job mostly for level 1, level 2, right? Keep our safe and keep our supplied with food and water, etc. But if, like, say, in this world of AGI, we no longer need a work for those reasons, then we can actually move up to the ladders so that we can really think about what will make us feel belonged and loved, and what will make us feel that we can meet our esteem need, basically building the self-respect, confidence, and securing the prestige from the society, or even like to the highest level, realizing our personal potential, right? So, and reaching self-fulfillment. So for all of that, the way I kind of, or one answer I gave myself is like, okay, so that means it's not meaningful to compare to the AI anymore because you're not going to keep to be competitive. And to a broader content, this makes me think that you don't actually need to compare to any other people because there will always be people who are smarter than you. But what this does mean is that you wanted to come back to yourself and focus on yourself and really think about who you are. What is your passion? And what do you care about? And that is how you ground yourself and to start think about, okay, given that, what should I do? What should I do to make myself contribute to the community, to others happily in a positive way? And that's how I can make myself financially reward and also achieve happiness. So basically, this is how I think, like whether it's under the AGI, or even in today's world where there is already full of competitiveness, competitions in the human society. This is how we can achieve self-worthiness and happiness. Basically, you start with yourself and then you be empathetic and curious, and you engage in others to observe the hidden needs of others or of the society, right? And then you identify the problems, you create the solutions to solve the problems. And this is where living in an AI or AGI world will actually be very good because solving a problem will become much easier. And then with that, you can deliver the impact and value, and it helps you to realize the financial success and personal fulfillment. So I think this is not only how we should educate our kids with, instead of trying to make it compare to other people and become more competitive, get into a good school. But also when we develop our career, it's also this is how we ground ourselves and really find our uniqueness, our passion, and then build our competitiveness around that. So with that, let me conclude my presentation. The AI wave is unstoppable, just as all the previous great technology innovation, right? Steam turbine or cars, electricity, they are non-stoppable. And it will eliminate a lot of jobs, but it will also transform many others. In the near term, careers require complex physical work. Human relations, ethical judgment, and accountability remain resilient. These capabilities are difficult to automate and continue to create significant value. But if we really think about long term and think fundamentally about what it means to be a human, what it means to have a job, then success and happiness will belong to those who can combine human strengths with AI fluency. Empathy, curiosity, creativity, critical thinking, and the ability to work effectively with AI will be the key drivers of value, opportunity, and fulfillment. That concludes my presentation. And I guess as a final word, I would just say because of my views that I discussed, it's not just like the things I say, I act on it. And so I founded this company called Evergreen AI. And the mission of the company is to really help people and transform people of all ages, right? Not just the students, but also people all ages who now need to really transition to this new AI age and build a resilient workforce in the era of AI by providing cutting-edge education services. And as an inaugural program, we have launched the Next Generation AI Scholar Summer Program. And this program is basically a 5-day intensive curriculum that will basically teach the middle school and high schooler to think, to really start with not only being given a task to solve, right? But they need to think about what problems are they interested in solving. And then they will learn this platform called MIT App Inventor. It's a AI-enabled app development platform developed by MIT and Google. And then they will use this app platform to build a mobile app to solve the problems that they are interested in solving. And finally, they will present and the impact. They will work in a small group. So they will learn how to connect with other people, how to communicate, and how to lead a group, and finally deliver the impact. So I think the reason that I have this summer program is I really think that this is the right education for students to prepare them to become competitive in the AI era. So with that, I think I'm going to transition to Marisol, and I'm very honored to have her here because she is the program manager for MIT App Inventor, and she's been with MIT for 25 years, I think. And she's really the vital force to have advanced this platform to a global adoption. And I'll let her to tell you about how great the tool is and her insights about the education in the AI era.
Thank you, Yangsha, for that introduction. Actually, this year I've been at MIT for 26 years. Let me share
Congrats.
slides. Yeah, long time. There we go. Are you seeing my slides?
Yes.
Okay. So MIT App Inventor is a tool that is good for your introduction to AI. Like Yingshan Zhongli have said, is that you can't really escape AI. So everyone has to learn it, especially students in school. Students in school seem to pick it up a lot faster than anyone else, especially adults, because they live on their phones half the time or online. They are actively using AI, so it's up to the rest of us, the adults, to really learn it. So a platform like App Inventor, which is a free open source web platform that allows anyone to create a mobile app, and I do mean anyone. I am the least technologically savvy person on staff, and I can create an app. So if I can do it, I know that others can, and I have seen it in action over all these years. It's a very interesting way to engage learners of all ages and to allow a very low barrier entry into experiencing by AI by using AI. And we've seen it across 200 countries with the over 29 million users that we have that have created over 130 apps over 16 years now since it was created at Google and then bought to App Inventor. And it's all based on our approach from Seymour Papert, who was a faculty member at the Media Lab at MIT. It's all on the constructionism, that hands-on learning, learning by doing, and by creating meaningful objects, artifacts that really gets students engaged and involved so that they're not just sitting there getting a lesson by a teacher. They are actively participating. They have their own self-efficacy in learning by doing. And we've applied that in our whole approach to AI. So it's AI literacy involving actually creating with AI, so that you really start having those discussions and really start thinking about what you're doing, what actual things that you are implementing and what you are creating. And on that, we have expanded the self-efficacy and applied it to AI. So it's that inactive mastery, the vicarious experiences, the persuasion and support, and the physiological experience associating positive emotions and learning experiencing, especially with AI. When some people, like Yingsha said, they are afraid of it. Many people are. Not so much our younger learners, but our older learners. But once you start experiencing it and using it, then that fear is dispelled. And then because we're hands-on, I wanted to share examples of what people have created so you can kind of start imagining some of the skills that they're learning. In 2023, we had an App of the Season finalist, and they were from a university in Santa Clara in Brazil, and they created Yo Dengue Fever. It was an app to take pictures of larvae in pools of water in your backyard and notify the health commission so that they can come and spray the areas in the neighborhood so they could combat Zhou dengue fever. And it was 95% accurate. And it was just students who were not computer science students. They were actually in the bio department in their college. And they were able to create an app with that kind of efficiency just by using computer vision, image classification, and GPS location. And they still use it in the government of Brazil to date. Then we started a global AI hackathon in 2024. And we had a teenage student in Ireland who was visually impaired that created an app called VitMob to identify objects that could be obstructions or could harm her since she is visually challenged. And to date, she has more than 2 million users because Vision Ireland actually worked with her to further develop the app after she won it from our small contest. And now global learners, not just users in Ireland, but across the world, have access to VitMob, and visually challenged people are actually using it. Then last year, our youth team winner created an app called Move to Heal. They were based in Turkey, and it was to assist one of the students' grandmothers who'd had a back injury and had a lot of difficulty with movement and actually being able to manage their own physical therapy. So they created an app that would assist the grandparent who was about 80 years old using the personal image classifier and then just walking the grandparent through it so that the grandchildren don't always have to assist and the children don't always have to assist. And then this year, I want to play the video for our Global Appathon winners so that you have more of an example of what people are creating and what skills. You can start seeing what skills they're actually developing by what other people around the world are creating.
Hi, everyone. I'm Natalie Lau, the Executive Director of the App Inventor Foundation, and I'm so excited to welcome you to the Global Appathon 2026 Winners Announcement. Hosted by the App Inventor Foundation and MIT App Inventor, the Global Appathon is a free virtual hackathon that brings people around the world together to build mobile apps for a cause, inspired by the 17 UN Sustainable Development Goals. At the App Inventor Foundation and MIT App Inventor, we believe one of the most powerful ways to learn technology is through computational action, by using technology to address real problems and create meaningful change. This is what the Global Appathon is all about. This year, the Global Appathon brought together 2,176 registrants, a 66% increase from last year. We were thrilled to welcome participants from 141 countries and regions around the world. 69% of participants came from low-income developing countries and emerging markets. The median age this year was 17 years old, with participants ranging from 6 to 84 years old. This year's submissions explored a wide range of important issues, with the 3 most selected SDGs being good health and well-being, quality education, and responsible consumption and production. The impact is clear. Over 90% of participants, based on our surveys, want to continue improving their app and believe they can make a meaningful difference in their communities through it. And now, after careful consideration and review by our panel of judges, I'm excited to announce the winners of the Global Appathon 2026. Starting with the junior team category, congratulations to Sinar from the United Arab Emirates. Sinar is an emergency response app that uses AI to organize incident information into a standardized report format for first responders. With features such as personal medical profiles, hospital routing, and emergency guidance, Sinar helps ensure that when every second counts, both the person in crisis and those helping them have the information they need. Next, in the junior individual category, the winner is Food Flow from the United States. Connected to UN SDG on zero hunger and good health and well-being, Food Flow is an AI-powered food platform that helps users make smarter and healthier choices while improving food access through AI-driven food insights, real-time food access tools, and recipe generation using available ingredients. Due to the high number of exceptional projects this year, we are excited to recognize co-winners in the youth categories. In the youth team category, the first winner is EcoBin from Thailand. EcoBin helps households, street vendors, and restaurants recycle used cooking oil instead of pouring it down drains. Inspired by interviews and collaborations with local market vendors, the app connects users with nearby smart recycling bins, tracks their impact, and offers rewards, while an AI-powered bin identifies and measures the oil. Our second youth team winner is Hero from the United States. Hero is an AI-powered app that helps children with hearing impairments practice speech and listening skills between therapy sessions. Inspired by one team member's brother, Eric, the app makes home practice more engaging and accessible, helping children build confidence and find their voices. Next is the youth individual category, where we also have 2 co-winners. The first winner is Kisan Sati from India. Kisan Sati, or Farmer's Friend in Hindi, is an AI-powered leaf disease detector that helps farmers scan crop leaves, classify plant health, and receive personalized guidance based on location, weather, crop type, and more. Built with and in support of farmers who may not have timely access to advice, the app also includes offline mode, a chatbot, scan history, and regional language voice output. Our second winner is Oikos from Puerto Rico. Oikos Eco Health Companion helps users track health symptoms and understand the connection between pollution and human health. Inspired by the creator's experience living near an industrial area, the app's simple, mostly offline interface offers symptom tracking, alerts, and recommendations, and it also aims to support future pollution-related health research. Moving on to the adult individual category, the winner is iGuide from Hong Kong. Inspired by the creator's experience as a secondary school teacher, the app helps students transform passive eye strain into an active wellness routine. iGuide is an AI-powered mobile application designed to combat digital eye strain among students through real-time AI fatigue detection, clinical OSDI diagnostics, customizable reminders, and audio-guided eye exercises. And now for the final category in this year's competition, the All Ages category. Congratulations to Team Molcheck from the United States. Molcheck was developed by a team of doctors to help users triage melanoma-related hyperpigmented skin lesions. Since early detection greatly affects melanoma survival rates, the app supports more informed screening decisions, especially for people who face barriers to primary care or dermatology access. To wrap up this year's awards, we also wanted to recognize several honorable mentions. These projects deeply impressed our judges and showed exceptional potential across different areas of the appathon. Safe Eat is an AI-powered food ingredient scanner that helps elderly and visually impaired users make safer food choices based on allergies, intolerances, and dietary restrictions. Popjoy solves pet anxiety through music that is validated by a custom AI model using community testing data from youth volunteer musicians and testers. Airbeat makes music more accessible by turning a smartphone camera into a real instrument using real-time AI gesture detection. Maternal Care is an AI-powered app that supports expectant mothers through emergency alerts, health monitoring, and personalized pregnancy guidance. Future Me is a self-care app that lets users record personalized voice messages of encouragement for difficult emotions. Kinesing is an AI-powered app that translates Uruguayan Sign Language into text and speech in real time. Rescue Radar is a disaster relief app that works with AI-powered search and rescue UAVs to turn a standard smartphone into an off-grid rescue terminal for missions, data sharing, and team communication. And to every participant, mentor, teacher, and community member who made this year possible, thank you. Whether this was your very first app or one of many, your work is helping shape a future where technology is more creative, more accessible, and more connected to the real needs of people. Thank you for being a part of the Global Appathon 2026. We can't wait to see what you build next, and see you again next year.
So to conclude, I hope that your takeaway from some of the examples is that we want to keep, from what we're learning and what we're doing, is to try to keep things very socially engaged, to make people more social responsible by using technology to solve problems that sometimes technology actually creates.
Well, thank you very much, Marisol.
Thank you.
Thank you for making this app a global phenomenon and help so many people accomplish so much. Thank you. I also want to say a few words about Yingxia's presentation as well. It made me thinking while she was talking. She's a very successful professional in Google, doing important work. We had a lot of discussions about AI. What she presented, we also discussed. And so she's constantly thinking in the AI age, what skills are important, what's the future like for herself, for her children, for others. And what I am impressed is that she take action, not just think philosophizing, talking about it, but actually plunge into the sea, ocean, so to speak, and created evergreen AI and really practice what they think is the future, the skill needed to thrive in the age of AI, not only just to be more competitive, reach self-happiness. When AGI is here, they're going to be smarter, but with these skills, you'll be happier. You're going to realize your self-esteem, your dream, etc. And App Inventor sounds like is something everyone can use to build things. I recently attended a conference where people are talking about AI application as well. And this one person who is the expert in Capital One, and he said, people are asking, how do you survive this, right? He said, go build something. Just start building something. And during this process, learn AI and learn and see if you can transition, how you can transition. I think the App Inventor is a great tool for that. Without further ado, we'll open question and answer session. Anyone have any questions? You can just open your mic and ask. Can everyone see my screen?
Yes.
Good, good. Any questions for our three speakers? For some people came later, right? We had first speaker, Zhong Li. She's an educational expert. She has helped a lot of students got into top 5 and Ivy League and good schools, not only students here, but also from China. And she has shared some invaluable insight into, in the age of AI, how education need to change, what skills are really needed. And you can ask her questions as well, even if you haven't heard her speech.
I have a question to ask Yinxia.
Go ahead.
Yeah. She has a 5 days immersive AI summer program. I'm thinking because my son is very interested, but she can attend 3 days. The first 3 days, in Thursday and Friday, she will go to she will out of town to attend a tennis tournament in West Point military. So my question is whether there's a video record in the last 2 days. So yeah.
Yeah, got you. Thank you so much for your interest. We can do the video record, but I think is he going to miss the first day? Did you say?
No, he will miss the last 2 days, Thursday and Friday.
Okay. Okay, got you. Yeah, no, I think we can make that arrangement. Yeah.
Okay. Yeah, thank you very much.
Yeah, no problem. Have you already registered, or do you need me to send you the registration information?
Yeah, I haven't, but I think I will. I will. Yeah, I will, because there's a recording. So, I will register soon
Okay, great.
for my
Yeah,
son.
thank you.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Victor, you're muted.
Oh, sorry, I muted. I'm asking any other questions, but I have a question for Zhongli. Actually, I think many people might be interested. Zhongli, are you still there? You are on mute.
Yes, I'm here.
Yeah. So you talk about the skills school needs to prepare students for the future with AI. How about now? How about right now, college admission, and people use AI to write essays, and so has the admission criterion changed?
I think, Victor, that's a really good question. Has college admission criteria changed? Well, Yale recently did two things. Number one, Yale request um, standardized testing again this year, which means SAT and ACT is bringing up to the table. And the UC application system is discussing about bringing back to standardized testing again instead of just looking at the materials, right? The written materials. That's one thing. Number two, Yale changed its mission statement as well. I can't recall 100%, but I am actually going to check right now. So Yale refined its mission statement now to create, disseminate, and preserve knowledge through research and teaching. It used to be very different. Um, the old mission statement, let me see if I can find the old mission statement, was adopted during, let's see. Yes, it's that version was more about nurturing global impact, leadership, and value community diversity. From that change to its mission statement, you can see Yale changed its purpose, right? At least this year as well, from developing a diverse community, nurturing leadership, to really preserve and create knowledge at this day. So, question to our students what we can do today and how college is going to reshape. I would encourage all of our parents to think of one thing. It's said very easily, but it's very hard to do. Is that what is the uniqueness of your own child? Because I believe everyone was born for something. So, what is that something for your child, right? Maybe I have a son who is not good at math, but maybe I have a one good at math, right? So, for my one not good at math, what he's good at, what is his unique interest? How do we, as parent? I always think parents are the first educators, the first teachers of our own kids. So I think as parents, we need a pair of discovering eyes to filter, right? Filter out what they're not good at, but what they're really good at naturally. So that is not going to change because that's the origin of your own child. So think about, take a deep breath instead of sending them busily to test prep or, doing instruments or doing sports. Maybe take a step back and think, what is my boy or girl really good at? Because as I had so many conversations with admission officers, they always tell me, well, we want a real person. And what does that person look like in the classroom? What is that person going to look like in the dorm? And what kind of conversations are going to carry in the dining hall? As hard as those universities sound that they are, but they are looking for real contributing humans. So again, I don't know down the road, are there going to be specific changes, for college admission? But number one, um, you know, as someone who read so many essays, I can definitely tell what essays are created. Well, I can't say I can definitely. I have a good sense of what essays are looked like by AI. So if admission officers are looking at the essays, they probably have a very good sense too. But a lot of universities are not actually using the AI detector to detect the student writing just because it's not accurate right now. So they can't just use that to justify all the application. Number two, really to think about, again, your uniqueness of your child. I think that's the best thing you can bring on the table. So,
Well, thank you. Anyone, you have questions, you can all type in as well. I think that there are many parents here. And one thing you want to encourage your children is to ask questions. You need to start with yourself. Ask questions. But also this question for Zhongli again. What you mentioned that really struck me. One skill is kids or students learn by struggling. If they don't struggle, they're missing an important lesson, right? The resiliency, toughness, persistency. So how do school teach this, and how would like admission officers measure this? Right, it's through essay, but now essay cannot be trusted. So so how does school teach this, and how do they test this going forward? SAT cannot test it, right?
That's a really, very, very good question. I think every one of us is trying to seek a good answer for it. And I think everyone has its own versions of answers as well. Now, does school teach resilience? I think depends on how parents see it, right? Because going to school is not just about the grades. To some people, the grades, the academics is already a challenge. But for some others, maybe interacting with peers, accepting comments, get fitting into that community is already a struggle. So I think school doesn't really get us struggle through just pure learning. It's really not only learning, but the interaction in the community, right? Again, every student is different, every child is different, because knowledge may come to you easy, but you might have a good time speak to the others, right? So I think school doesn't teach us struggle. It creates an experience for us to, fully live ourselves in. And one thing I encourage parents to is every day when your child or children come back home, have some conversations with them. Ask them, how's your day? What is the best part? What is the worst part? What did you find particularly interesting? What did you find particularly struggling? I think throughout those conversations, you begin to know your children better, right? Because then you can see, are they interacting with their peers in a good way? Are they understanding what the teacher is talking about? Or are they very sensitive to comments as well, right? Through those ways, I always tell all my students and all my parents appreciate those failures, those authentic failures, because that's how you grow. And when I was encouraged some of my other students, if they failed a test, if they didn't do their best, I said, get excited. That's your learning opportunity, right? Change your mindset of seeing failure as a way to build up on, your growth. I think that's really important. Teaching our kids, teaching our own next generation to face failure as a momentum, as an opportunity for growth. I said, like, for example, my son lost the game this morning. I said, be excited. See, look at all those great skaters, right? You got more to learn. And I think, you know, the meaning of sports is not only winning, but knowing where you're going to and who is better. And it's, always become the better self, right? So even though my kids are not the best athletic built, but I still send them to sports just because I think they can set small footsteps and milestones for themselves. And again, through those authentic losing and failure, they begin to learn. So, again, to all our parents, as long as we want to sweep out all the obstacles for our kids and just shape them for a bright future, well, leave some of those stones there and maybe holes there. It's fine. Let them fail.
Yeah, yeah. Thank you. Thanks, Zhongli, for coming here while you still have a fever. Give such deep insights. So I think parents should make children struggle purposely. So any questions? But I have a question for you, Yingxia. How did you make this plunge? Right, it's really amazed. Right, you can think, talk, and then you decide to take action. Yeah,
That's
maybe.
Yeah, I have not thought about that question. I guess I am someone who is not afraid of failure. That's probably one of the reason. I am more afraid of not doing something and regretting about it. So when I have this passion, when I believe that this is what the great education for the kids is, and when I see that there will be a great need for from people across all ages to help them transform to the AI era. I think that itself get me excited, and I wanted to do something about it. And I can't wait. I cannot wait for myself to have the perfect timing, perfect position, perfect enough time. Like I am super busy with my Google full-time job. But at the same time, I really wanted to act on it because it is something that I feel passionate about, and I wanted to do something. Um, I think that's part of it. Another part is like I always think that as an entrepreneur, you never start with with a perfect plan. Actually, you will fail, and it is through the past you will find the better way to do it, a better plan. You will meet with people who can work with you, help you to do better. And so I am someone who is like okay, I wanted to do this, and I'm not afraid if I fail.
Yeah, wonderful. Yeah, it's inspiring, and such a tumultuous time. So many things in danger, but there's so many opportunities. And yeah, it's only by plunging in, doing it, you progress with the age and with the time. And all right. And if there's no questions, I just shared again my first slides. Does everyone see this?
Yes.
Okay. So I want to say this series of forum is sponsored by Greater Washington Area Entrepreneur Club and U.S. Sino Innovation Alliance. GWEC is created by USIA. And we also have many co-sponsors. First is CAST, is Chinese Association of Science and Technology in USA, and several others. And so I listed organizers here. This is alphabetical order. We have more people help out, but this is a group of people actively engaged in brainstorming, invite speakers, and make this happen. There's Jun Han, Victor Wang, who's me, and Rongtao Xu, who is the president of the Greater Washington Area Entrepreneur Club. Hong Jun Yang, he's the expert committee chair for the U.S. Sino-American Innovation Alliance. Ying Xiayang, who's one of our speakers today, and Yubin Ye, who is the president of Sino-American Innovation Alliance. So if anyone wants to join the club or join Alliance, let me know. And we are in the DC area, and we've been doing this online forum, also offline forum. We are also organizing actually entrepreneur competition this October. So if you are interested in any of this, let me know or let anyone in this list know. If there's no further questions or anyone have, like Rong Tao and Ye Huizhang, or anyone have any comments to say?
No, I have no.
Okay. All right, then. Well, thank you very much for joining at Saturday evening. Interestingly, I was sorry. Go ahead. You have a question? Hello. Okay.
I think
Anyway,
there is a question in the chat. Is there a WeChat group?
there's not. Oh, is there a WeChat group? I don't. Don't have a WeChat group. Maybe we can consider creating one in the future. But you can email.
Send over WeChat. Connect anyone. Connect the group in Xia or one way or me. Anyone you recognize we can bring you to the group.
Yeah, then I send my email to you. Just email me. I will send you the contact information. So that's Qin Hong, right? I send you my email. So one thing is we had over 100 people registered, and only 20 showed up at 8 o'clock, then gradually increasing. Now we have 33 people. Maybe we should start 8:30, in the future. Maybe 8 o'clock is too early.
Yeah.
Another thing is, if you have any topic you want us to give a forum, or if you have a speaker to recommend, please let me know. And my email is there as well. All right. Well, thanks for joining, and I wish you happy Sunday. Goodbye.
Thank you. Thank you,
Thank
Victor.
you.
Thank you.
Thank you,
Thank
everyone.
you.
Bye.
Bye bye.
Thank you.
Thank you.